Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game.
Welcome to Game of Thrones chat. I am Dan and I am unsullied. I have not read the books of A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin.
And I'm Thomas, and I'm double solid because I've read them twice.
We are going to talk about episode 3 of season 5 of Game of Thrones. What's the name of the episode, Thomas?
I don't remember.
You should know this.
It's your job to remember the name of the episode.
The name of the episode is, of course, High Sparrow.
Yeah, of course, I knew that. I was just testing you.
Oh,
No.
gosh me.
Not.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
What happened?
Let's start in Bravos with the House of Black and White.
Valar Morghulis.
Valar Dohaeris. And we see some guy who drinks water that Jack and Hagar wants him to drink. I'm going to call him Jack and Hagar even though he doesn't listen to any name apparently, or I don't know. But so he drinks water, then it looks like he worships some icon on the wall, and then he just falls down.
So did the water come from the pool he was sitting by?
I think so.
So is the pool full of poison?
Don't drink the pool water.
Don't drink the pool. Don't bathe in the pool.
Exactly. It looked that way. It looked like he died from the water in the pool. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was fully aware that he was going to die.
Well, I mean, otherwise, why would you say all men must die? And yeah,
So he came there to die.
it looked that way.
And,
Let's say so.
Okay, yeah.
Let's decide so.
Yep.
Yep. So that's what they do there. they die.
Okay, don't go there.
Wow, it's so easy to be an assassin nowadays.
Yes, please. Come to my house, drink from the pool.
And die.
Yeah, he didn't even have to be there. Like,
I
leave a note, drink the water.
Exactly.
Valar Morghulis.
Yeah, Valar Dohaeris. So they carry him out, and Arya sees all this, and she says that she's tired of sweeping floors. She wants to be an apprentice. And
She's so impatient.
yeah, I mean, didn't she learn anything from watching The Karate Kid?
Or Fight Club.
Exactly.
She has to wait.
Yes, and then she has to serve the many-faced god.
Yes.
We haven't heard much about the many-faced god, but I guess that's suitable for a faceless man to worship a god with many faces.
Yeah, the many-faced god's name is Death.
Yes, and every man knows his gift.
Alright.
Death.
Seems like a nice god. It reminds me a bit of Ashur, the god of ancient Assyria. Then he's all gods, and he is pretty violent and lethal.
Yeah, it's what we should remember from the background with with the city of Bravos is that it was founded by runaway slaves from the Valyrian Empire, and these slaves had different culture and different gods, but they had to live together and they had to tolerate each other's gods. So then all these gods, basically together they become the many-faced god, because it's okay to worship any god when you're in Bravos, and especially when in the House of Black and White.
That's very tolerant.
It's very tolerant.
So basically you would be accepted whatever religion you had, because it was just part of the many-faced god.
Yes, everyone is welcome in Bravos except slavers. They really frown upon people having slaves, so that's the only thing they won't tolerate then, I guess. If that's the religion somehow, I don't know.
Alright.
And then we have this other scene where some girl comes in and starts hitting Arya.
Yeah.
And apparently this is the game of faces.
Yeah, you want to play the game of faces?
No thanks.
What are you doing here? In a podcast you haven't started. Speaking of a show you didn't make.
So, but they say that she's not old enough to play the game of faces.
Yeah.
We don't get more explanation of that, except of course that Jaqen tells her that she has to get rid of her stuff.
Yeah.
She has to sink her clothes and money and the needle in the bay or something.
But she doesn't get rid of needle, really.
No, she hides it, since there's still a shard of Arya Stark somewhere in there.
I love that scene. I think a lesser show would have done this with flashbacks. But they just showed us her with the sword and played sad music, and we remember the scene where she got needle and stick them with a pointy end, and
oh yeah,
all that sword has been around for so long.
And she killed to get it back when she lost it.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. It's a good scene, and it wasn't overly obvious, like you said it could have been, with flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah, I have a question about Jack in a Car, or nobody who is... He isn't Jack in a Car. He states he isn't Jack in a Car. So Jack in a Car was a cover he used, or something like that?
That's what he claims. Who knows?
So when Arya said that he had to kill Jack in a Car, did he really have to kill himself? Because he was obviously... He looked like he had to kill himself. But if he wasn't Jack in a Car, why?
Well, a faceless man is not a stickler for for exact words when the meaning is clear. A man knows what the man needs to do.
Yeah, I also read somewhere then that Jack in a Car, or he said that he was Lorathi from the city of Lorath.
Yeah, Lorath, yeah.
And it's the sort of... Bravos is the last free city if you go up the coast, except for Lorath, which is further inland, further along the coast to the east from Bravos.
That sounds right.
And Shay was also from there in the show.
Yeah.
And Cersei said she recognized her accent. And there was this thing with a man and a girl, and then non-use of pronouns, but that was not from the show. But it's only Jack in a Car that speaks that way, not the people from Bravos. So it's the Lorathi way of speaking. Yeah,
I think it's the Lorathi way of speaking. I seem to recall reading about that. There was some city where people felt that it was presumptuous to use personal pronouns. So instead they would use a man and a woman and a blah 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 and a girl. Yeah, speaking the way Jack and Hagar speaks to Arya.
Yeah.
But Shay doesn't speak that way in the TV series. But it might be that Shay is trying to speak the Westerosi way to blend in.
Yes.
So that's why she's using personal pronouns.
Another curiosity or another small fact is that both the actor for Jack in a Car and for Shay were Germans. So now people from Lorath are people that speak with a German accent.
Yeah,
that's sort of a show convention. It has nothing to do with the books.
Okay, so if we see any more German actors, if Jürgen Prochnow turns up all of a sudden,
yes,
we know that he's from Lorath then.
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't even have to use the personal pronouns or not use them too.
The last thing they do in the scene is to
washing of the dead.
Yeah. So what's going to happen with the dead?
Let's see if they tell us. Or
so it's obviously some sort of resource for the faceless men. But they have to be clean first.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to go into more of that. Let's see what happens I don't want to talk too much about the faceless men.
Because you are solid.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sure
the next scene.
We'll find out more in the future episodes, of course.
Yes. What's the next scene?
Oh, I was thinking about King's Landing. Lots of things going on there.
Yeah, there's some sort of ceremony.
Yeah, ceremony. Yeah, it's Maggie and Tommy getting married.
It's a wedding! Somebody's gonna die!
Yeah, I guess the shocking thing in this wedding is that nobody died.
You can never trust George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, well, a wedding without at least 4 deaths is a dull affair.
And that wedding was a dull affair.
Yeah, and Cersei didn't like it at all because everyone was cheering for Maggie, and nobody was cheering for her.
Yes.
She no likey. But Tommen and Maggie likey each other in the bedroom lots of times.
Yeah, and I can only agree with Tommen. Yeah, let's do that every day till the end of my days, and it would be fucking glorious.
Oh, you like Maggie? Yes, okay.
It doesn't have to be Maggie.
Well, do you like her manipulating?
It has to be my wife, of course.
Oh, close call there.
Like that one.
So she's mixed. So Maggie's mixing in sex with manipulating Tommen, of course.
Yeah, it's awesome.
She's like, you will never be a grown-up until you've freed yourself from your mother. Is basically what she's saying.
There is some serious manipulation and women intrigue here.
Yeah. And then Cersei meets up with Maggie, and Maggie's like, "Oh, you're an old drunk," or she doesn't say that, but she's like, "What do we call you? Queen Mother, Dowager Queen?" soon you'll be a grandmother. So that means you're old. You're old.
You're really old.
And then it's like, we have no wine. It's too early in the day for us to drink wine. But
not for you because you're drunk.
Oh, and that's a lovely scene.
I have a hard time seeing both of them surviving this season.
Okay.
And I think as this is Cersei season, that Maggie is...
she's going to buy it. She's going to buy the farm.
She's in danger. She is in over her head.
Okay. So what happens next? Well,
I think it gets more glorious.
It gets more glorious.
Yeah, I think this is what I had in mind. No.
You're thinking about the pleasure house scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 7.
Yeah, they wreck the whole Littlefinger's pleasure house there, and
yes.
And Lancel Lannister beats up. No, it's. Well, they are the high.
The High Septon has to choose one of the 7 to do the ritual with, and he chooses 2 of the 7, the maiden and the stranger.
Yeah, that's right. And then Lancel Lannister runs in and beats him up and ruins
party
everything.
Pooper.
Yeah, he ruins everything. Poor establishment and poor High Septon.
Yeah, and Lancel is pretty aggressive. I am the High Septon. You are a sinner. And boy, does he get punished.
Yeah, so punished that he has to go to Cersei and complain about it.
Yeah, and then Cersei has a plan.
Yeah, she's like, okay, I'm gonna talk to the High Sparrow.
The High Sparrow, for which this episode is named.
Yes. And this guy, this High Sparrow, he has no shoes. Because he gave away his shoes. Is that indicative of his character, do you think? Or
I think there is a contrast here. These younger sparrows are very violent and fanatic, and this guy is more like Gandhi. He feels very peaceful, and it's a great actor, but I think he was too recognizable.
oh, okay.
He does a great job, but I feel that why would this guy be behind such violent acts?
Well, now you have 2 different. Well, I mean, you have the new church and the old church, so to say.
Yes.
Competing with each other.
He's Martin Luther.
Yeah, and it seems like Cersei is liking the new school more than the old school.
She's just looking for allies.
Yeah, maybe she's looking for allies. Maybe she feels that the High Septon is no good ally and the High Sparrow is a good ally.
The High Septon is obviously corrupt, and which would suit Cersei fine, of course. But
yeah,
she's like on the next level here. She's planning.
Yeah, maybe she needs a stronger High Septon, because I mean the corrupt High Septon should be perfect, like you say, for controlling. So, but maybe she feels that she needs a more powerful High Septon or religious leader anyway that can enthusiasm more people.
Yeah, she is into high planning mode here. She has a plan, obviously.
Maybe it's Cersei season.
Yeah, I think it is. And then
she sends a message to Littlefinger.
What is that message? And she thinks that he is still in the whale, of course.
Yeah.
But what is the message?
We don't know. Maybe we'll see that in the next episode.
Yeah.
And the mountain stirs.
Cersei Stein's monster!
Okay, any more comments on King's Landing?
I think that Qyburn is... he's very unconcerned about the mountain stirring. He's like, this is all according to his plan.
Yeah.
That's easy, my friend. And he's like, this is proceeding as he has planned.
I think the mountain is chained down by lots and lots of chains, otherwise it wouldn't be so cool.
Is he?
Well,
but it didn't look like that, did it?
Well, he was covered by this drape, or I mean some kind of cover.
Yeah.
But I would think that he would be tied down or chained or something. Otherwise Qyburn couldn't be quite so calm.
Or Qyburn is totally in control of him.
That is true. Maybe he has Jedi mind control of him or something.
I want to see more.
Yes. Let's hope we see more.
Time for Winterfell.
Yeah, in Winterfell we have Theon and Roose Bolton and Ramsay Bolton and what remains of Lord Kerwin and his family. They all got flayed because they wouldn't pay the taxes. So that's how Ramsay plans to rule, with the flaying knife in one hand.
Yeah, sounds very Bolton-esque.
Yeah, even more so than his father, who realizes that you can't build alliances and you can't rule with fear alone. You need some kind of alliances.
Yeah, and they have no alliances.
Maybe they can build one with someone.
Maybe they can.
What's the next scene? Oh, it's from Moat Cailin.
These locations are confusing me. So the Boltons are in Winterfell, of course. We saw them arriving at Winterfell last season.
Yeah.
But now we are at Moat Cailin.
Moat Cailin is right on the border between the Riverlands.
Yeah, so we are at Moat Cailin just because this is the point where Sansa realizes where she's going.
Yeah. Good morning. Smell the coffee. Hello. She should have realized it before, of course.
Yes, yes.
She has traveled this way before, but...
yeah, and it's a long way to get to Moat Cailin.
Yeah. But anyway, when they are at Moat Cailin, then Littlefinger is explaining his plans. And he's trying to manipulate her, and he says, no justice unless we make it. Avenge your family. So she realizes that the marriage proposal is not for him, it's for her.
Yes.
And then she thinks she's going to marry Roose Bolton, but it's no, she's going to marry Ramsay. It's so cool. It's like it would be so much more cool to marry Ramsay rather than Roose.
She obviously doesn't know anything about Ramsay at this point because
otherwise she
he has been unknown.
Yeah.
Not the guy you want to marry.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what. Well, then then takes like 5 minutes, and then they're at Winterfell.
Yeah, that's 3 weeks of travel at least.
Yeah, something like that. So, but not on TV, only in the books, or maybe not even in the books. But
yeah, they confused the hell out of me.
So it's really, really quick, and then they are at Winterfell, and Sansa decides to play along then.
That's very brave of her.
Let's call it brave. You could call it very cowardly of her also, but let's say it's brave. Well, what's she supposed to do? Bitch slap him? And I mean,
he offered her the opportunity to say no and turn around, and she didn't.
Did he really? Did he?
No, I think he's manipulating her totally, but...
Yeah, Littlefinger says, oh, say the word and we'll turn around. But before that, blah, 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 avenge your father,
She says, I go to Winterfell, just shut up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no way he's turning around, really. So,
no.
One way or another, she's going to Winterfell. But the North remembers.
Yes, and who in the North likes the Boltons?
Maybe Ramsay.
Yeah, Boltons are, of course, they were a powerful house in the North, but
yeah,
they were not like the most powerful house except the Starks.
Yeah.
Or were they?
I think they were the second most powerful. They may have been the second most powerful. Well, it depends. Once upon a time, the whole North was divided into like 10 different kingdoms. And then one after another, the kings of winter, the Starks of Winterfell would gulp them up one after another. But the last one to give up was the Boltons of the Dreadfort.
What was the name of their kingdom?
The Dreadfort Kingdom? Or
okay.
Now, I don't remember if they had a name. Well, the Dreadfort was... They might have been like the east of the river or something, like... Because they were east of the river, but...
So how long ago was this?
Oh, this must have been like at least 1,000 years ago. Or several thousand years ago.
So much later than the building of the wall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, much later than that. Winterfell has supposedly been around for 8,000 years.
So the wall was not built by a unified North?
No, it was not.
All right.
Because it was even older than Winterfell.
Interesting.
They say. That's the legend, at least.
Yeah.
But, almost nobody. I mean, the people who base Boltons... They fear them. They don't really love them. I mean, who would love Roose Bolton? Maybe his new wife, but that's about it.
Yeah, and his mother, but I'm sure he has flayed her by this time.
Yeah. But I fear a little bit for Sansa, because did you see the looks of those girlfriends of Ramsay's?
Yes, so she's marrying a psychopath who has jealous psychopath girlfriends.
Yeah, it's...
And her stepdad is a psychopath.
Yeah.
So good luck, Sansa.
Everybody's...
But the North remembers.
The North remembers. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. It's a hornet's nest, really.
And I like this message from Cersei and Roose Bolton's interception of it.
Aren't you... I don't remember that.
Alright. But we still don't know what is in the message.
I want to know!
Roose Bolton knows. We should know.
I want to be Roose Bolton for just a minute. Or maybe longer.
No, you don't want to be Roose Bolton.
He's a pussy. He's a pussy
He's
cat.
gonna face the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay. That's possible.
Yes. Yeah, we have to wait for that.
How about we move on then to the next storyline here with Pod and Bree.
Yeah, the crazy duo.
Dynamic duo. They decide to find another way through the swamps because they can't just ride straight through Moat Cailin.
Yes.
So let's see if they're able to do that.
Aren't those swamps impenetrable?
Supposedly, at least for a large number of people, maybe 2 persons can make it along, or they have to swim somewhere, or beware of the crocodiles, I say. It's supposed to be impenetrable, yes, but maybe they can find a way.
So they are pretty much stuck there.
Unless they can get through the swamp somehow.
I fear for Stannis' life. Damn, Brienne, stay away from Stannis!
Yeah, she's pretty irritable. She's snappy. She's snappy and Pod is proud.
Yeah, we got background stories.
Oh yeah, Brienne and the Prince, Podrick and the Ham.
Renly, why did you die so young?
Oh, notable is that Brienne is super ugly in the books. She's not just tall and she's not just too tall and too strong. She has really bad face and everything. So.
All right.
So that's the woman who plays Brienne in the TV series, she's good looking. It's just that she's really, really big.
Yes.
So it must have been even harder for her in the books than it is in the...
They have worked hard to make her ugly in the series.
Yeah, there's a big difference when you see her on the red carpet or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Tyrion as well, right? He's much uglier in the books.
Oh, he's like, somebody said, that's the Brad Pitt of dwarves, this Peter Dinklage guy. Yeah, in the books he has strange hair, he's bald somewhat, and he has different color eyes, and he's like the most ugly person you've ever seen.
Yes.
And of course he has his nose cut off in the end of book 2.
Yep.
So he's even more hideous. Poor Sansa. And speaking of the books, Podrick is 13 years old in the books.
Yes. So everybody's a child in the books.
Yeah, almost. Well, everybody's younger at least.
But this was there was not much going on in this Pod and Brienne thing.
Well, at least we got some background. I'm okay with getting some background.
Slow moment.
Yeah. So let's move to the wall.
Yes.
Where Jon tells Stannis thanks, but no thanks.
No thanks. There will be no Stark in Winterfell.
Yeah, that's what he thinks at least.
Rickon is still out there.
Yeah, and Bran is crawling somewhere, we think.
Yeah, we won't see Bran for a while, I don't think.
And of course, Sansa Stark is also in Winterfell right now. So
yes, that's true.
So the Night's Watch, they're running low on food. I guess it's they're bragging so much about how few they are, but still they're running out of food. I guess it's because they have to feed all the wildlings and all the Mance's men as well.
Yes.
The Stannis' men, I mean.
Yeah, 100,000 wildlings and 5,000 cavalry at least.
Yeah, and all the horses and all the king's men.
Yes.
So he won't, but they say Stannis will march within a fortnight, he says.
Yes.
Then Davos says the North suffers under Bolton, please reconsider.
Yes, I think Davos makes a good attempt at lawyering the oath, just like Sam did.
Yeah, but Jon Snow, he would really break his oath now in even worse a way than he did before if he would accept this.
Yes.
So I can understand that he's adamant about not doing it, even though he would really like to. But it did take an oath.
They only need Jon because they think he has some sort of
name recognition
authority with the wildlings, right? So they don't need the Night's Watch really. Because there are 50 guys.
Yeah, but they do want him to be a Stark guy that everybody...
Yes. Oh, of course, they want to unify the North.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So the Umbers and the Karstarks and everybody else will support Stannis rather than support Roose Bolton.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, and then suddenly Janos Slynt grows a pair.
Yeah, he has had too much.
I mean, consider what he did during the siege of the Wall, hiding in the larder.
Yes.
And just following Alistair Thorne's example and trying to support him. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, you
He will not have it.
This far, no further. The line must be drawn here.
Yes. Good on you, Slynt. And
so Jon goes, Ollie, bring me my sword. It's in the books, he's already carrying his sword. So then he asks his steward, Ed Tollett, he says, Ed, fetch me a block. A shopping block. It's one of the, like I've seen the threads online where they're discussing the best quotes from Game of Thrones, and that's one of the best on Ed, fetch me a block, because it's really cool. It's like when Jon really steps up and takes a hard decision.
Yes. All in the spirit of Ned Stark. But I wanted him to quote Ned Stark from the first episode then.
Yeah.
To like the man in command has to execute.
Yeah, and like Janos Slynt, I now receive. Yeah, exactly. Janos Slynt, for your crimes of this and this, I command you to die, and so on and so on. So he could have been more Stark-like.
He obviously follows Ned's instructions, but he's just chop.
By doing the deed himself, yeah.
Yeah.
With the Valyrian sword, no less.
No less. And this must be the death so far that we have been the least sad for. when Joffrey died, we were like, oh no. But this was like, yes.
Good riddance.
Kill him.
And Stannis approves.
Yeah, Stannis always approves.
Did you see him?
Executions.
Did you see him nodding to Jon there, or was it just me imagining?
I saw that.
Because in the books he nods, but in the TV series the nod is so small.
Yes.
It's so small that I almost thought that I was imagining the nod. When it's like, okay, good stuff.
He felt very approving.
An interesting thing though, in the books it's actually the other way around. That Alistair Thorne is the sidekick to Janos Slynt's Batman, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh.
So, but they do kill Janos Slynt. So in the books they kill the big guy and leaves the sidekick, and here they kill.
So was Janos Slynt the competitor for the commander position?
Yeah, he was the big. Alistair also ran actually, but he dropped out early in the race. They actually had like a series of elections over several days.
Okay.
But Janos Slynt is the big competitor. Yeah.
Oh.
So they reversed that, but then they killed the sidekick. I don't know how that works. So maybe it was a contract dispute or something.
There was a moment there, absolutely, when Alistair Thorne stepped aside.
Yeah,
and let it happen.
Yeah, he was considering where are my allegiances now.
Yeah, but he's loyal to his oath and he's loyal to the Night's Watch, and Jon is the Lord Commander. So I think this was another moment bringing Jon and Alistair closer together.
Would he have stepped aside if he had just been appointed master of digging latrine pits?
Probably not.
That might have been very important there, that he did appoint him first ranger before he did that thing. So.
Yes. Poor Brian, master of the latrine pit.
Well, poor Janos, I would say.
Yeah, of course.
But he got what he deserved.
Yeah, you can put him in the latrine pit.
Oh, that's more than he deserves. Okay, let's move on to Varys and Tyrion in Volantis.
Yes. Are they alone? Once I think I asked this before, but there are no guards. There are nothing there. Just traveling in that.
Someone has to drive the bloody cart.
Yeah, but they're just the two of them.
There has to be guards. I mean, they can't go all alone.
Yeah, we're like bringing this important guy to the queen.
Yeah,
and we have zero manpower.
And then I mean, but. As long as they're inside the cart, I'm like, okay, so they have guards outside maybe. But then when they walk into the city, they still have no guards.
No.
It's just him and Varys.
It looked really dangerous that they can't defend themselves. They look wealthy.
I can understand that maybe Varys has some hidden kung fu tricks or something, a few daggers up his sleeve, sure. But still, it's weird that they don't have any other guards.
Yeah. Really strange. It seems so dangerous to go into Volantis like that.
Yeah, but what are the odds that he will be recognized? 1 to 1.
Yeah, 110%.
Before that, we learned that Roller is worshipped. The god of light.
Yes.
The same as Fordos of Myr and Melisandre worships. It's worshipped here as well.
Yes, the god we have seen display the most real power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
This priestess is staring at Tyrion for some reason.
Yeah, we don't know why, but he does the wrong thing, I think, by like trying to reveal his face. Kind of, he should be just staring back. It's so suspicious, I think.
Yes.
So like, oh no, I hide my face.
Yeah, and then they just walk away from there and nothing happens.
Yes, and someone rubs his head for luck, and he has another suggestion, which I think is pretty clever. I'm not sure if he would be willing to go the whole way, but the thing inside this pleasure house, he suddenly decides that he can't.
I think I had to mention this Mother of Dragons prostitute. That was fantastic.
Fantastic!
Yes.
Oh, it made your episode, didn't it?
It was glorious!
You like the dress?
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you buy one for your wife?
I should.
Nice cleavage.
But what happened to Tyrion? He can't...
He can't perform. Or he thinks he can't perform at least, or...
Yeah, what's that?
Maybe he really is going insane. I mean, he was just... I thought he was just saying it to Varys, like, oh, I'm going insane. But maybe he's going insane if he can't do it with a woman. I don't know.
Maybe it's becoming normal.
It's like, I mean, in the books he's even more depressed, I thought, than on TV series, because in the books he has even more things to mourn. This whole discussion with Jaime before he leaves reveals other things that he realizes. So he's even more distraught.
Yeah.
But he's actually able to perform in the books. He does puke on the prostitute, but he's able to perform. I don't know which is worse, but it says something about his state that he can't perform. Maybe that's why. Maybe they felt that the scene was so gross that they had to take it out.
Maybe it's in the director's cut.
Let's hope not.
So,
and then he's recognized.
Yes, Jorah Mormont is drinking away his sorrows. He's traveled all the way to Volantis, which I understand is quite far from Meereen.
Yes.
And he
half a word away.
He decided to drink away his sorrows at a brothel? Or is it a drinking establishment as well?
I guess it's both.
Yeah. And then he sees something.
Yes. And it's not his queen. First he thinks he sees his queen, I bet.
Has he met Tyrion?
That's a good question. How does he recognize him? They haven't... this is the first time they see each other in the TV series.
Of course, Tyrion is speaking quite widely about who he is. And you could have overheard it.
Well, the thing is, about 10 years ago, when Balon Greyjoy revolted, did a little revolution against the rest of the Seven Kingdoms, all the other kingdoms went out there and crushed him. And then afterwards, they celebrated with having a big tourney at Lannisport.
Yes.
And Jorah, in his finest hour, he actually won that tournament.
Wow.
This first and last tournament he ever won, and this was actually the beginning of his doom. But the thing was that so he won the tournament. This was at Lannisport.
Yes.
10 years ago, Tyrion would have been there.
Yes.
He would have been busy drinking and whoring, of course, but he should have been able to recognize, or maybe he was too drunk to even see who won the tournament. We don't know. But Jorah apparently saw the dwarf. But I mean, everybody will. I mean, the dwarf is a celebrity, and it's easy to pick out. So maybe he remembers him from this event 10 years ago.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah, and maybe Tyrion forgot him because he was too drunk.
Yes.
Or so that's plausible at least.
So Jorah decides to molest Tyrion.
And then take him to the queen.
Yes.
The queen, whoever that is.
Yeah. That's true. There are several queens.
Yes. Well, it's either Daenerys to just curry some favor, or it's Cersei for a big fat reward.
Yeah, that seems to be the two options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she could take him to Marguerite, but I don't know what that would be.
Or to the Queen of the Iron Islands.
Or the Queen of Thorns, but that doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Should find out pretty soon which way it's going.
Yes.
So, do you want to do your follow-up for your predictions?
Yes, in the preseason show I made some predictions. So I predicted that Brienne would die, and she's still alive, and she has also run into the things I thought would kill her. So now I'm starting to fear for Stannis instead.
Oh, okay.
Killed by Brienne.
Oh.
I think Ross Bolton will die. I think that's quite likely still.
Yeah.
And if we ever get to see Balon Greyjoy again, he will die.
Maybe he'll die off screen.
No! Oh, maybe he will.
Yeah.
I still think Daenerys, Jon Snow and Tyrion are safe.
Mm-hmm.
I think we already know that we are going to Dorne. This is Cersei season, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In a fortnight, we'll be seeing Stannis versus Boltons, as I hope for.
Oh, you're assuming that it takes 14 days to get going and 1 day to get there?
No, okay. Maybe longer.
Well, it all depends on what's suitable for the show.
Yes. Well, Jon Snow and Melisandre will talk again. And Samuel Tarly is, of course, not useless. We already see him doing good things. We will not see Bran. And I hope we will see Rickon, and he may have an army of White Walkers.
May or may not.
And those are the predictions.
Cool.
So let's talk about the next episode when we meet again.
Yes, let's do that.
And the name of the next episode is The Sons of the Harpy.
Try to remember that next time.
I will try to remember that.
Okay.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of fucking Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. There are swords and things doing lightning tricks, and they'll take you out if you try to beat them. They'll kill you and stomp you and make you Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. In the lightning they come to take on everyone. And you know it's the Game of fucking Thrones. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones.
Det är kvar till nästa avsnitt.
Så har du märkt till det med att Cersei sket i att dricka vin där i den här scenen?
Det finns 115...
Med Marjorie?
Nej, med High Septon tänkte jag på.
Ja, just det.
Det är så, i episod 4